Hey, welcome back to this mini lecture. My name is Dino. It's titled Introduction to Surveillance Capitalism. So what is surveillance capitalism? Sort of the bigger concept is it's a large-scale surveillance and behavior modification for profit. According to the originator of the term, Shoshana Zuboff, quote, surveillance capitalism now claims private human experience as free raw material for translation into behavioral predictions that are bought and sold in a new kind of private marketplace. And it takes place almost completely without our knowledge. So basically, it's about the idea of corporations using our experiences online to make predictions about us in private marketplaces. And unfortunately, it's largely done without our knowledge. What is rationale and aims for surveillance capitalism? It helps to predict and modify human behavior to produce revenue and market control. It's a new form of accumulation, again, like data on us that can be used and monetized by various corporations and other actors. A really interesting concept is this idea of surveillance assemblages. This operates by abstracting human bodies from territorial settings, so it's putting people, who we are, in more of an abstract form. It separates our bodies into a discrete series of flows, which would be like the data that we emit through our interactions. And these flows are reassembled in different locations as discrete and virtual data doubles. So the data doubles would be like a virtual version of ourselves. So it's just like an interesting concept how it's like basically by our interactions online, it creates these virtual data doubles, which are ourselves. There are a number of problems with surveillance capitalism. One is that it's democratic threats that it poses. More simply, privacy impacts democracy. So lack of privacy, more specifically. For example, we can lose our free speech. We can lose our anonymity due to surveillance capitalism. Here's another quote from Zuboff. Surveillance capitalism's means of behavioral modification at scale erodes democracy from within because without autonomy in action and in thought, we have little capacity for the moral judgment and critical thinking necessary for a democratic society. Because surveillance capitalism creates these types of data trails, and these data trails can impact our behavior, and often without our noticing, it leads us to act in ways that are against our real preferred thoughts. So as a result, it can affect democracy. Another interesting idea is the idea of digital enclosures and class division. The digital enclosures idea, it's like the idea of communal spaces, which a long time ago was pure like physical land. Now it's the idea of being on an interactive online website. When they come under private control, that's the enclosure of it. And then the class division that occurs because of this is there's a division between those who control the privatized space, mainly these platforms and other large corporations, and those like ourselves who submit to surveillance to access goods, services, and convenience. So there becomes this big division between those who control these spaces and those who need to submit various pieces of data to participate in these spaces. And because of this, there's been changing surveillance dynamics that we can do to help push back against what's been going on. First off, we want to change public opinion so that we collectively can push back against surveillance capitalism. Secondly, in terms of law and regulation, we can address the mechanisms and imperatives that push surveillance capitalism upon us. And finally, there's competitive solutions. Ideally, there would be the idea that an alternative ecosystem that democratizes knowledge, what we ideally thought of the internet when it first came out, would reemerge and give us the ability to participate online in ways that are less about our surveillance and more about our democratically independent modes of participation that we would prefer, and it makes society better. That was a brief introduction to surveillance capitalism. If you like this video, please like it below, please subscribe to this channel, and please write comments if you could. My name's Dino. Thanks for watching. Take care.